Good morning, my dear students. Welcome to the class on history. In the previous class, we had learned about the immediate cause for the First World War and the definition of the term non-aligned movement. I hope you have clear so far. So let's deal with this particular topic once again. Non-aligned movement. Non-aligned movement. I hope you remember the definition given by me. I will repeat once again. It is a policy of an independent country that does not join with any superpowers in the world but actively participates in the world matters and they promote international peace, harmony and cooperation. PPF clear, which means it is a stand taken by an independent country that does not join with any of the superpowers in the world, but they actively participate in the world matters and they promote international peace, harmony and cooperation. That's the definition of a non-aligned movement. Now, what are the features of it? What are the features? The first feature is that they are not the countries that become part of non-aligned movement, they do not join with any of the power blocks. Like after the Second World War, America became a superpower, and on the other side we have got Russia that became a superpower. So there are countries that join with America on one side, and there are countries that join with Russia on the other side. But the countries that become part of non-aligned movement, they do not join with any of the power blocks in the world. Second, they are opposed to any military alliances with other countries. Which means they do not go for any military agreement with other countries. That's the second one. Third one, they retain freedom. Which means the countries that become part of non-aligned movement will retain the freedom, which means they will be independent to take independent foreign policy. Which means no other country will tell them what is to be done. If India is an independent country, India retains its freedom to take independent foreign policy. The next one, they do not move away from international problems. Which means when something happens at the international level, they say the national level, they do not say that we will not get involved. Which means they do not remain aloof. Which means they do not remain apart from international problems. And they judge an event, an issue on its merit, not on biased thinking. They judge a particular event, they judge a particular issue that has happened on its merit. Next one, they uphold rights of people for freedom and justice. These are the main features of this particular movement called a non-aligned movement. Not aligned to any of the power blocks, opposed to any kind of military agreement, retains its freedom to take independent foreign policy. They do not move away from international problems. They judge an issue on its merit. They uphold rights of all people for freedom and justice. So these are the main features of this particular policy called a non-aligned movement. Now let's see what the people, the leaders who took up the initiative for this particular movement. We have got Nehru from India, who took the initiative. Second, we have got Joseph Broz Tito from Yugoslavia. Joseph Broz Tito from Yugoslavia and Nasser from Egypt. These are the three main architects of this particular movement called or the founding fathers of a non-aligned movement that happened in 1961 At Belgrade, they had a meeting at Belgrade in Yugoslavia, and these are the three founding fathers: Nehru from India, Joseph Broz Tito from Yugoslavia, and Nasser from Egypt. These three leaders took up the initiative for this particular movement called non-aligned movement. Now, what are the objectives of this particular movement? What are the objectives of non-aligned movement? The most important objective or aim of this particular movement is that to keep away newly independent countries of Asia and Africa from superpowers like America and Russia. Once again, to keep away newly independent countries of Asia and Africa from superpowers. That was the main aim of this particular non-aligned movement, which means the countries that got independence, newly independent countries, they should not be again controlled by the superpowers like America and then Russia, the Soviet Union. So that was the aim of this particular movement. Second, to protect and preserve their newly acquired independence. First one is to keep them away from the superpowers. Second, help them to protect and preserve their newly acquired independence. And what are the other objectives? These are the main important objectives. And the other objectives of this particular NAM are: eliminate causes leading to war, which means remove the elements that will lead to war. Second, protect the freedom of newborn independent countries of Asia and Africa. Oppose colonialism, imperialism, and racial discrimination. Advocate or spread sovereign equality of all the countries. If India is an independent country, India has to respect the independence of another country. Encourage friendly relations among the countries. Peaceful settlement of international dispute. If there is a dispute, the first step is not the war. So let's go for very peaceful settlement of international disputes. Oppose the use of force and nuclear weapons. Let's not go for the use of force or gathering nuclear weapons. Strengthen the UN as an organ of world peace. You remember after the First World War, we had this particular organization called the League of Nations that came to prevent or protect the world peace and security, but it was a failure. So after the Second World War, we have got the United Nations. Now what is the aim of this particular NAM? It means to strengthen the UN as an organ of world peace, protect human rights and environment. It's not only to protect the rights of the human being, but also we need to protect the environment. Build new international economic order based on equity, equality, and justice. These are the different objectives of a non-aligned movement. The most important objectives are to keep away the newly independent countries of Asia and Africa from the superpower, protect and preserve their newly acquired independence. And thus are the other objectives of a NAM. So these are the things that are to be prepared, that are to be learned for your exam. That's the end of this particular syllabus of history. I hope you are okay with it. You are following the videos, understanding my explanation. So kindly go through the video once again and understand the explanation properly. Complete the notes. Go through the textbook clearly and go through only the reduced syllabus. I hope you know the reduced syllabus properly. So I hope I have covered all the topics, and in case if I have missed any of the topics of the reduced syllabus, please let me know. I will explain to you So go through the video along with the notes and prepare well for your exam. Thank you children. Take care.